Good evening and welcome to the Channel Studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. Experts say the volcanic eruption in Spain's Canary Islands could last up to 3 months. The Canary Islands Volcanology Institute said the eruption on La Palma and its aftermath could last for up to 84 days. Rivers of lava up to 6 meters high have been rolling down hillsides, burning and crushing everything in their path. Extraordinary footage has emerged of molten rock edging their way down roads and surrounding and destroying houses. Around 6,000 of the 80,000 people living on the island have been forced to leave their homes to escape the eruption so far, though there have been no reports of fatalities. Angry scenes have broken out at Haiti's main airport after migrants were deported to the country from the US, with people throwing shoes at the plane they just got off. Footage shows people scrambling for their personal belongings after their bags were dumped out of the plane during the chaos. Last weekend, the US started flying out migrants from a Texas border town. About 13,000 would-be immigrants have gathered under a bridge connecting Del Rio in Texas to Ciudad Acuna in Mexico. China will not build any new coal-fired projects abroad, a move that could be pivotal in tackling global emissions.
中国将力争2030年前实现碳达峰。
President Xi Jinping made the announcement in his address at the United Nations General Assembly. China has been funding coal projects in countries like Indonesia and Vietnam under a massive infrastructure project known as the Belt and Road Initiative. But it has been under pressure to end the financing as the world tries to meet the Paris Climate Agreement targets. The Taliban have asked to address world leaders at the United Nations General Assembly this week in New York City. The group, which seized control of Afghanistan last month, said the envoy for the ousted government no longer represented the country. The request to participate in the high-level debate is being considered by a credentials committee whose 9 members include the US, China and Russia. That's according to a UN spokesperson. The Ethiopian government says rebels have destroyed thousands of health facilities in the northern part of the country. Over 1.9 million people in the Amhara and Afar regions have no access to health care after rebels loyal to the Tigray People's Liberation Front reportedly vandalized health facilities. They're thought to have destroyed 20 hospitals, 277 health centres and 1,162 health posts in the Amhara region alone. The rebels have not yet responded to the latest accusations. Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison has said there have been no reports of serious injuries so far after a magnitude 6 earthquake struck near Melbourne earlier. The earthquake is reportedly one of the country's biggest on record, causing damage to buildings in the country's second largest city and sending tremors throughout neighbouring states. Alarms could be heard ringing in the distance in the aftermath of the quake. The quake's epicentre was near the rural town of Mansfield in the state of Victoria.
It can be a very disturbing event for an earthquake of this nature. They are very rare events in Australia, and as a result, I'm sure people would have been quite distressed and disturbed by that, particularly in the most immediate area affected.
Former US President Donald Trump is suing his niece and the New York Times over a 2018 article that alleged he was involved in dubious tax schemes. The lawsuit, filed in New York, accuses Mary Trump and newspaper reporters of being engaged in an insidious plot to obtain confidential documents. It alleges she breached a settlement agreement, barring her from disclosing the documents. She revealed herself as the source of the story in a book she released last year. And finally, tango and football fans have joined forces to pay tribute to Argentine soccer player Diego Maradona at the Tango World Cup in Buenos Aires. The ensemble, made up of 20 artists, included the renowned singer Cucuza Castiello. The song Goal of the Century, dedicated to him, was premiered during the concert. Maradona made his debut as a soccer player in 1976 with Argentinos Juniors, where he was the top scorer of the Metropolitan Tournament for 3 consecutive years. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the Channel Studios in Lagos.